Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Only on CBS This Morning, new findings from a congressional investigation into infant-inclined sleepers finds that Fisher-Price failed to ensure its Rock and Play was safe and ignored warnings it was dangerous. The Rock and Play was on the market for about 10 years. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says it's linked to more than 30 infant deaths. 4.7 million were sold before a voluntary recall by the company in 2019. Consumer investigative correspondent Anna Werner got an exclusive look at the report from the House Committee on Oversight and Reform. Anna, how was the Rock and Play allowed on shelves in the first place?
Well, good question, Anthony. You know, these products weren't regulated like cradles and bassinets. And now this new report is calling out Fisher-Price and its parent company, Mattel, for selling what investigators call a dangerous product. Despite clear evidence, it put infants at risk of serious harm or death.
This is outrageous. In my opinion, it's criminal.
That's committee chairwoman Carolyn Maloney reacting to her own investigators' findings into how Mattel and subsidiary Fisher-Price developed and sold the Rock and Play inclined sleeper.
We have to take steps to make sure that this does not happen again.
The subcommittee's report, obtained exclusively by CBS News, says Fisher-Price failed to ensure the Rock and Play was safe before bringing it to market and ignored critical warnings that the product was dangerous. Pediatricians say babies must sleep on a flat surface on their backs, but the Rock and Play sleeper put infants at an angle of 30 degrees. Now the report finds when the product was launched in 2009, there was no independent research or even internal company research showing it was safe for babies to sleep at an angle. Something pediatric injury expert Dr. Ben Hoffman finds disturbing.
The fact that there was no due diligence done in talking to experts, to even understanding what safe sleep was and how the inclined sleeper product operated completely counter to what we know safe sleep to be.
The report says in October 2012, a mother reported to the company that her 2-month-old son had stopped breathing in the sleeper. He was revived, but 2 months later, Fisher-Price was notified that a 15-week-old infant died in the Rock and Play.
Does that pain ever go away?
No. No, it's been 10 years and I still cry.
Sarah Thompson's 15-week-old son, Alexander, also died in 2011 after napping in a Rock and Play.
Leaving without him was so hard, to come home with a car seat in the back and no baby in it. Probably the worst day of my life.
Thompson says she contacted the Consumer Product Safety Commission with no result. In fact, the report says it wasn't until 2018 that CPSC staff counted 17 infant deaths and became alarmed, one writing in an email, "Holy cow, we need to discuss this. When the commission sees this, they are going to flip." But the voluntary recall of the Rock and Play did not happen until a little over a year later because of what investigators call grave flaws in the U.S. consumer product safety system, in which manufacturers are largely left to police themselves.
It's supposed to be the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and everything we've learned is the manufacturers are the ones protected.
Fisher-Price told us they disagree with significant parts of the report's findings. The company said the Rock and Play sleeper was designed and developed following extensive research, medical advice, safety analysis, and more than a year of testing and review, and that it met or exceeded all applicable regulatory standards. But Chairwoman Maloney says,
we have to hold corporations responsible. We have to put people over profits.
The Thompsons are suing Fisher-Price and Mattel. Fisher-Price told us the Rock and Play sleeper was safe when used in accordance with warnings and instructions. Now, the acting chairman of the CPSC says there's a provision in the law, something called Section 6B, which basically means for them that it undermines the agency's ability to warn consumers about dangerous products, and it should be repealed. That's undoubtedly going to be a topic of conversation today at a congressional hearing later on all of this. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Fisher-Price is recalling other baby sleep products this morning. The 4-in-1 Rock and Glide Soother was linked to reports of 4 infant deaths. The children, all between 2 and 4 months old, were reportedly put on their backs in the soother unrestrained and later found on their stomachs. The company is also recalling its 2-in-1 Soothe and Play gliders, though no deaths have been reported in connection with that product. A Fisher-Price official said the deaths underscore the importance of following safety instructions. But again, Tony, as you know, when a baby turns over and they are this young, or they turn their head to the side or drop their head in that inclined sleeper, they don't have the muscle strength to roll back over many times or pick their head back up.
Yeah, it's a tragedy for the family. Still a mystery to me how it took more than 30 infant deaths for these products to come off the market and more than a decade with them on the market. I'm glad something's happening now, though. Anna, thank you very much.